And we are live. Good evening, good evening, good
Hello.
evening,
Good evening.
wherever, wherever you may be in the world. This evening, this is a very late night show for Mike B, but a very early morning show for Swanee T. Swanee T, how are you doing
Yeah,
today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. I'm
Yes.
in the middle of a long 3 day weekend right now, and I did
Labor
not.
Day, correct?
I'm sorry.
I said it's Labor Day,
It is
is
Labor
it?
Day. It will be Labor
Okay.
Day in California in
Oh,
about I would say 70 minutes, a little bit over an hour. But it is
okay.
Labor Day in other parts of the country. So happy Labor Day to everyone out there. And
Happy Labor Day.
I don't know
And
the
here it is
backstory.
September 1st already.
It is September 1st in the world and in the area of the world you are in right
Yes.
now. Happy September 1st. And
Yes.
we will be getting there soon. So it looks like you're off to a good day. I'm off to a good evening. But I did not want to close out this month without doing a show. You and I are
Okay.
super busy. This is, as a matter of fact, this was a very impromptu show for you to get yourself prepared for this show. But I'm going to take it easy on you tonight, Swanee. This is a very kickback show.
For sure, for sure.
I've got a small script, but it's not very involved. It's just a straight talk. As a matter of fact, um, uh, Victoria was going to join us, but she had other plans in the world. So
Okay, I'm sure
this
she
was
does.
yeah, this was a slide, but she won't be joining us tonight. But this is just a wrap up show. We're gonna call this the August 31st wrap up show.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And on to new beginnings. September always inspires me because it's back to school for some, and it's just like this time, it's fall. So there's like this special feeling that you get.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are
Yeah.
going through a transitional phase right now as we transition from the summer to the fall. We still have some hot days ahead
Yeah.
of us. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
September and October are very hot days for us.
In some
So,
places in the world, yeah, yeah. I
absolutely,
heard that
absolutely,
in some other places it's already raining. So um
absolutely.
yeah,
Also, I want to say how spectacular you look in those glasses that you are
I'm
rocking.
rocking them, rocking those
You
glasses.
and you've had them for about 2 weeks now, right? A couple of weeks.
A little more, yeah. Yeah, I really, I mean, I wear them when I have to look at the little things, the little details when when I'm
Um,
reading, writing.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. I agree. And
you know,
but I love the clear lenses. They look very
they look
great on
cool.
you. They fit your face really
Thank you.
well, and you look amazing. So I just want to give you a
Thank
shout
you.
out on that. So it's fun. So I appreciate you jumping in tonight on this call to give me a little bit of dialogue and feedback on what your opinion may be regarding a couple of subjects that we're going to talk about. But
Okay.
before we get into it, before we get into it, let's get personal. Not with you, but with me. So
If I can just interrupt for a little bit, just maybe on a
yes,
technical thing, I do not see you right
you do
now.
not see me.
No, just pointing it out.
Well, you know
If
what? Let
it's
me.
anything that matters, if it doesn't matter, then it's all good and let's continue.
No, 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 no. You have to see me. So let me, and I'm glad we're getting this technical on these issues out of the way. Let me go on X really quick to see what's going on because I should
Okay.
be live on X. Let's take a look here. Uh, we're getting this okay, I see myself on these issues out
You
of the
see
way. Let me
yourself.
go on
Okay.
X real quick to see what's so. Is it on your end, or are you on your phone or your laptop?
Now I'm on my phone, but meaning on my end, I only see myself. Like I don't see you as well.
Okay,
So if it looks
okay,
good, then let's continue.
Yeah, yeah, the live stream, we're great. I just checked the live stream,
Okay,
so
so
we're
all
good.
good then. All good.
So let's keep it going. So I saw a video a couple of days ago. It's just a a regular podcaster that creates content, and uh, this is a person who does these food reviews. And as a part of the reviews that this person does, he's eating food and he's also drinking beverages. Sometimes,
Okay.
most of the time, it's an alcoholic beverage, um, and sometimes it's some other type of beverage. So
All right.
he did a food chalk and he actually debuted this particular type of beverage, and this beverage contained THC, which is the active ingredient in cannabis, or um, marijuana. Now,
Okay.
I have to let the whole world know that I have never been a partaker of such.
Mm,
I've had a very straightforward life, very straightforward career. Most of my careers um, involved law enforcement, and of course, partaking of these particular type of substances. Though they have been relaxed over the years, laws have been amended over the years to allow for recreational use of these this particular type of substance, THC,
okay.
but I never really embarked in it at all. And I remember as a child growing up, and maybe I've told you this story before, but I'll tell our audience very briefly that as a child, maybe I was 3 years old, maybe 4 years old, but my mom said that, Mike, if you ever do drugs, you're gonna die. Period. That was it,
Mm,
and that was enough to kind of stick in my brain.
right.
But um, you know, I decided to do something. Now I've experimented with CBD, and CBD, for muscle tension, because as you know, I deal a lot with muscle tension and muscle,
Okay.
this tension, from the job, etc. And
And what
the
is
CBD,
CBD for
C,
just for
CBD,
people who don't know? Like I don't know what is CBD.
CBD is an ingredient that is derived from cannabis, but it does not provide the um the high effect, the high that you get from
Mm,
smoking cannabis or partaking any aspect of cannabis. CBD is
okay.
the non um effective, when I say effective, the non um it doesn't affect
Uh,
you
it does have some
mentally.
effects. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
The THC portion of it does, but
Mm.
they are both cannibalistic. Cannibalistic. I don't know if that's a word. They're they're both canni-
Cannibal. Cannibal is
cannibal,
something else. Cannibal
cannabis.
is
They're both
cannabis.
cannabis
Yeah.
products. Cannabis or
Okay.
weed. I'll just use the you know cannabis,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
weed,
Call it what
whatever.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up around it.
Okay.
I've grown up around it all my life, but I've never really partaken in it. And
Mm,
just a little brief, a little short story. I was applying for a job one time, and I said this in one of my podcasts maybe a couple of years ago, where I was going through an interview process, and part of that process was the what they call the integrity part, and it's where someone evaluates whether you are lying or telling the truth. And they asked
okay.
me, "Have you ever smoked marijuana before?" And I said, "No." And they looked at me and said, "I don't believe you." So
Mm,
that was the truth. But long story short, let's jump ahead, 30, 35 years. Yesterday, I decided to purchase one of these.
okay.
And this is a drink. And as you can see, it has cannabis. It's a cannabis
Mm,
infused drink that has 25% THC, I'm sorry, 25 milligrams of THC and 25 milligrams of CBD. Five servings. A serving is 5 milligrams, so it's 5 servings of 5%. I'm sorry, 5 servings of 5 milligrams of THC and CBD per can. Now,
okay.
that
Per
may not
can.
seem. I'm sorry.
You said 25 milligrams per can or
Yes,
5 milligrams. Okay.
yes, 25 milligrams per can,
Okay.
and 5 servings, which will be 5 milligrams per serving. So I
Okay.
decided to buy this, and of course, you know, you and I, we haven't really indulged in some things, but we've eaten quote unquote pizza that was 420 friendly, etc., and things like that. So
We tried. We tried
yeah,
one. Yeah.
and I
We
don't know if
tried.
there's anything in it. And of course, we've been to Vegas on many occasions,
It
and
was in Vegas. It was on the strip. Um, where was that again? What is the name for the
Fremont
strip
Street,
again? Fremont Strip.
Fremont Street, yeah. So
And
we're on Fremont
I
Street,
don't remember that it had any effect on me, so I don't think it
right?
was very strong. But
But
that was
I can say that
yeah.
most locations in Vegas that you go to within a public environment, whether it's in your hotel suite
Okay.
or the business, there's a smell of
Mm,
marijuana in the air
always.
everywhere you go.
Oh, that's the first thing that I noticed in Vegas,
Right,
particularly is the hallways in the
right,
hotels. Not
right,
all hotels are like that, but
right,
some it's heavy. It's
right.
really heavy with the smell. Yeah.
So we've
Interesting.
been around it. So here we
Yeah.
go. So last night I decided to live on the wild side and have a sip of this. And
Mm,
I started with the sip, which was probably about 5 milligrams. And you and I were having a conversation, and we're talking, and you're like, and you're saying, Mike, what the hell? What are you doing? What's going on?
mm.
And we're having a normal conversation, and as throughout the evening, I don't feel anything, absolutely nothing. I'm like, what is this? And
Mhm.
I actually drank the whole can and went to bed. I drank the
And I
whole
didn't
can,
know
which
that. I didn't know that.
you did
You told
not
me you
know.
were gonna have one portion, but um,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
and the rule
You must have had some sort of a reaction to that.
Well, the rule of thumb is here's a rule of thumb. Again, as a person who doesn't engage in these things, the rule of thumb is if you're going to consume an edible, I would say this is an edible, falls in the category of an edible because you're not smoking it. It is an
Hmm.
edible. Edibles have to
Right.
metabolize within your bloodstream, whether it's
Yeah.
a drink or a cookie or a brownie or even candy. It has to work its way through your metabolism, your system.
Yeah.
So there's a delayed effect. There's a delayed effect.
Hmm.
So I went to bed at about 2 a.m. and woke up at 6 a.m. I slept about 4 hours. By the way, it was um, uh, one of the best sleeps I've had in a while. It was very comfortable. A lot of the pain that I feel when I'm sleeping, I didn't feel any pain. I actually felt that my body was lifted off the bed, so that the gravity, the aspect of my body laying firmly on the mattress, I felt like it was elevated, like I was floating. Um, um, but it was a very peaceful sleep. The
Okay.
problem is when I got up at 6 o'clock to go to the bathroom, that's when it all started. So the delayed effect kicked in. I would have to say somewhere around 6 a.m. And I am like, what is going on? For
Mm.
someone who's never experienced such, I'm a newbie. I felt strange. I felt like I was extremely dizzy, like the room was spinning. I felt like every step that I took, I was stepping on like air or a cloud. Um, I had a hard time concentrating, figuring things out, thinking. There was a little bit of paranoia there. I was hearing little sounds here and there. Um,
Okay.
I
How
went
many
to the
hours
bathroom
after you went to sleep? From the time that you drank the whole can and you felt all of these symptoms, how many
for
hours passed? Four
4 hours.
hours?
Yes.
Mm,
So
okay.
I went to bed at 2, woke up at 6 a.m., and this is what I
Mm,
did. I immediately knew that I needed to Google what to expect, you know.
mm.
So I went into Google, and trust me, I had to fight my way on the computer. It was like everything was in slow motion. How do I do this? How do
Right.
I do this? And I was able to get the information that I needed that from an edible, the high could last anywhere from 6 to 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh my
Well,
goodness, I'm in for a ride right now. So I got up, stayed up for a while. I stayed up for a while. The sun was actually coming up, and I'm still dizzy. I'm thirsty. The room is still spinning, but I'm not. I'm not totally worried. I'm not. But it was more like wonderment. I'm wondering what's happening. I'm wondering. I
okay.
knew something was happening, but it was wondering. But also, I knew I had to lay down and lay back down. So I lay back down, and again, I got some of the best rest I hadn't received in quite some time, and I ended up sleeping in late. So I know when people say that they
Mhm.
smoke cannabis, it's hard to get up, it's hard to
Yeah.
work. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up staying in bed probably 2 to 3 hours longer than I normally would have. But I must say that I appreciate the experience. But is it something that I want to
Really.
experience again? Probably not.
How do you appreciate it? What is it that you appreciate? Just
I,
just because you did it because you never did before, or what is it that you because you didn't feel the pain maybe anymore with
well, no, not that.
your
I was
joints?
actually going. That's a very good question. I'm 55. I was actually going to do this at 40. So I'm 15 years
Okay.
too late in doing this. Someone talked me
Okay.
out of it at the age of 40, but I decided to do it at 55. And I appreciate the experience. This
Mm,
25 milligrams for a veteran would be nothing, but I'm not. So it was definitely something impactful for me. But it's not something.
okay.
But I can officially say it's not something that I get off on.
So what's the moral of the story here? Like what's the
The moral of the story is, I would say, I would say,
try new things, but or try new things and be
um,
aware or
I would say, to each his own. To each his own.
okay.
Maybe if I had played around with this, which my friends did, by the way, my friends played
Mm-hmm.
around with this type of stuff when they were 16, 17, 15, 16, 17, many,
Yeah,
many years ago. And it was, something they did. It was, and there was a done deal. And of course, I was around it. I was around it as a child with other adults, but it was nothing that was really appealing to me. And then the fact that my mom said what she said to me, that if you ever did that, this would happen. But
okay.
again, I know that the moral to the story is I wasn't missing out on anything.
Mm, okay. And
Yeah. So
if I can add,
yes,
there's so much more to this because
yeah,
what you did is okay, I get it. You wanted to do it for the experience, but I think that things like that, you need to do it with someone with you
yeah,
because you never know, and especially because you've never done it. You never know how you're going to react,
right.
and you need to be cautious. You need to be cautious with these things. And I would recommend not if you're going to take something like that, okay, it's something legal, right?
Right.
Um, you need I recommend do it not to do it alone.
No, no, no. And most people would say the same thing.
Right.
And again, I didn't really know what this. I saw the video of this person doing it, and they just chugged the whole can. And it was like, I don't
Yeah,
feel
but that's
anything.
someone who's used to it. That's someone
Probably
who
yes.
already,
Right,
uh,
right, right.
I don't know.
But it
Yeah.
was an experience, and I'm glad to be able to talk about that. So,
Okay.
if you're ever, those of you who are visiting Palm Springs, I actually picked this up. It's called Slims by Keith. It's really good. It's in Palm Springs, Palm Drive. So if you're in the area and you're into such things, um, cannabis store in Palm Springs, send me a check. for plugging that item for you. So
Okay. I have a completely different approach to this. I would be like,
I just
don't
I
do
just
it.
I just plugged them.
Don't.
Well, it's adult recreation, not for kids, of course. So
Not for kids and
so
in moderation.
not for
Definitely.
kids.
Oh God. Yeah.
So
But yeah.
that was just a little bit of a little bit. That was the highlight of my day yesterday, Swanee.
Oh,
But you and I we've been talking, we've been collaborating on a lot of things um, pertaining to how we execute our live streams on Swancentric Media, and we kind of have a format. Tonight's show doesn't follow that format, but for future shows we will follow formats, and a part of that format would be a general topic that's broken down into 3 to 4 segments. The first segment would be the general topic. The second or third segment would be a hero of the day segment. The hero of the day segment would be a spotlight on an individual that is doing something inspirational and positive and uplifting um, to towards in their life that is impactful and beneficial to others. Inspiring to
right.
others.
That's
And
good.
we had it, and we did some research, and there's plenty of that. And I'm gonna tell you why I want to do that. One of the reasons that I was inspired to do that is because there's so much negative. Now we can always do.
Mm,
There's plenty of content to do the idiot of the day or the bad person of the day. That's all
mm.
over the internet. That's all That's all over YouTube. That's all over the internet. You see people acting up and acting out. Why even talk about that? But we very rarely see someone who's really making a difference that's spotlighted. So I wanted to be able to do that, and we will do that. Uh,
We
for
need some
shows.
inspiration in the world. Yes, yes, we do.
And the
We
other,
really can.
so the other segment was what we're going to call the art of the day. The art of the day by Swanee Team, and this is to
Mm,
highlight
yes.
your art and to promote your channel, promote the work that you've been doing on the artistic end of Swancentric Media. You have a presence on Fine Art America. I'm sorry I don't have a banner to put up, but our live streams will
Yes,
carry
it's
the
I'm also
links.
there. Yes.
Your art is spectacular, and what we're going to do, our next
Thank you.
show, we will spotlight a piece of art that you have created, photography wise, and we'll talk about your inspiration behind that piece.
Yeah, with pleasure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that would be a part of the segment. But Fine Art America, just type in Swancentric Urban Arts.
Swancentric Media.
Okay.
And you're gonna find it.
Swancentric Media, and you'll find it on Fine Art America. So as well as on other social media platforms as well, TikTok, IG, and Facebook.
Very good.
So these are things that we are working on. Um, the other thing that I really wanted to talk about was, and this is so um, kind of near and dear to me. And I spoke to you about this earlier. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
I have, from a personal perspective, I have found it difficult for myself, as you know, to find the balance between quality of life, between work and
Right.
and the time that I spend outside of work. To me, it seems like I live for my job, and I really shouldn't have to say that or do that. But like today, I did go to work to check on things. Previously, I've gone to work 7 days a week to check on things, to spot check. That's just the nature of the position that I'm in right now. It's more of a proactive approach. I would rather be proactive than reactive, but
Yeah.
it does not help with my quality of life. It does not. Um, and I've come to a couple of realizations. Um, Quality of life, having a balanced quality of life is
Yeah,
subjective, I guess. Subjective. What does that
very.
mean? Quality of life, and and
Yeah,
for most
very
people,
subjective.
it's very subjective. Yeah,
Mm.
and it's and for a lot of people, it's I'm gonna do my 8 and hit the gate.
Yeah,
Do my 8 hours and turn everything off, or I'm always on the clock. I'm always on the clock. And it's something that I have a battle
yeah.
with. Something that you've also talked about as well.
Yeah, but quality of life is also, some people will say to you, I can't live any other way than, work hard and then so I can get all the things that I want in life. But some people are going to say, I don't want to work that hard because family life, it's not that you're working not as hard because you want family life. It's not that. But
Right.
you're going to work in different rhythm, and you're going to put forward your I don't know, your health or your well-being or your family or things like that. So yeah, it's subjective. It's how people want to have their lives uh looking like, and what they want in their lives.
Correct. Correct. I agree. I agree. And so, with that being said, I heard there was a very inspirational interview that I heard that's fresh off the press regarding a Gen Zer. Now,
Mm,
we're Generation X.
yeah.
Gen Zers are they're after millennials. You have your Gen X, you have millennials, and Gen Zers. So your Gen Zers are
So
kind of like in their early 20s,
okay.
and they're just starting out. So
Yeah.
there's this young gentleman, a young Gen Zer, who figured out the formula that works for him um, for success. And I want to play that clip for you.
Okay,
And after that, I want to get your opinion on the clip.
let's do it.
Here we go.
Look at this. It's an op-ed, and it's from the Wall Street Journal. Look at that. Work-life balance will keep you mediocre. 22-year-old entrepreneur Emil Barr wrote that, and he joins me now. Emil, you don't think a work-life balance is possible if you want to be successful? You have to be all in? Is that your point?
Absolutely. Extraordinary achievements require extraordinary sacrifices. Elon Musk slept on factory floors while he was building Tesla. Kobe Bryant trained at 4 a.m., even on the off seasons. So it is totally and completely possible to achieve financial independence in your early 20s in today's day and age, in today's economy, but you have to be prepared to make extreme sacrifices to get there.
Well, once you started and you made your extreme sacrifices, how long do you have to keep at it? Can you ever sort of relax a little and walk away and enjoy your money that you've made?
I call it front-loading success, and you can. If you can save up $1 million by the time you're 25, you will retire with over $100 million in the bank. If you can make $10 million by the time you're 25, you will retire a billionaire. That's not the path I'm personally choosing, but it is absolutely possible, and in my opinion, well worth the sacrifice.
It's a minority that actually gets that kind of money at that age, surely.
It is, but I think that it's a generational issue. We can't be the generation that argues for the 4-day work week and then turns around and criticizes the cost of living crisis. We can go out, and actually young people have so many superpowers, like our ability to natively use AI or technology, but our obsession with work-life balance is holding our income potential back.
Did I see on the screen 3.5 hours sleep? Emil Barr's daily schedule. You have 3.5 hours sleep, 12.5 hours working. How did you start your company? What did you do?
Well, I saw that social media is like the TV for our generation, Gen Z. So we built a platform that lets brands reach millions and tens of millions of people using social media. We hit a couple $1 million in revenue within our first few months building that business, and actually started buying legacy media companies and acquiring them and building out our overall business. So it was a lot of sacrifice. You're right, there was very little sleep because I still had to go to classes, but there was also looking at where the market is going and what people are paying attention to, and how could we monetize that to make an impact on brands.
What do you do for fun?
I like to play tennis, and other than that, I work. I truly love what I do, and I think that it might not be fun or pleasant all the time. At times, it's very painful, but it's also given me some of the most rewarding moments of my life.
All right, I'll change the subject.
Okay,
Okay.
so I would
Hmm.
love to get your take on this. There was a ton of information that this person alluded to
Yeah.
that work as far as the mechanism um,
Uh,
or that work for
hmm.
him.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about some
Look,
key takeaways.
well, he mentioned he mentioned some very prominent figures, uh, the founders of Apple and Facebook, and these are not Gen whatever you call it, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen
Gen
what?
Z,
Gen Z.
right,
These are not, okay. These are,
right,
some of them are, our generation, and he's looking up to them as his example in
right,
life. Okay, so that means that what he's doing right now, it's been done. They meaning, I'm not minimizing his efforts and what he's doing, and it's wonderful. And I think a lot more of the younger generation should do that. I agree with that. But I think that in every generation, they were people like that, that were
mhm,
working hard and creating and establishing companies and all of that.
right.
So that's something that is, that is wonderful, and it does demand a lot of work and a lot of dedication, and that's what you get. When you want results, that's what you need to do.
I agree. I agree. Some of the key words that that person used stood out to me. The first key word that stood out to me was the word sacrifice. Mm,
Right.
that's that's a pretty profound word. Sacrifice. Um, you have to give up. You have to give up
Yeah.
something to get something, and
Yeah.
that is no easy task. He has to give up his social life, probably has to give up his relationship life,
Probably.
probably has to give up his friendships and things like that to buckle down and stay strong focused on the task at hand. That is by no means an easy task. So sacrifice was a hard thing. It is hard.
Mm.
But he said something else at the very end of that. He says, enjoy doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
So it's you have to sacrifice. It's a hard task, but you have to enjoy what you're doing. Because if you don't enjoy doing what you're doing, you're not going to be able to
Right.
sacrifice.
Well, you can sacrifice and you can, do things, and you're not enjoying what you're doing, but you still sacrifice. You still give up on a lot of things. But if you can do that and still enjoy the process, and have a passion for that, then it's gonna show. The results are gonna show, for sure. And I think
So
that's
so what you
wonderful that he can find enjoyment with what he's doing, despite the sacrifice.
so what you're saying is if you enjoy doing what you're doing, it's easier to sacrifice.
I think so. Yes, and not everyone is as lucky as that young man, that they can find enjoyment and passion in what they're doing, and what he happens to do demands a lot of himself, and his time and efforts, but he's enjoying himself. Probably
No,
because he's seeing so much, fulfillment in what he's
yes.
doing, that gives you more and more motivation, of course.
What is your take on the 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours of sleep,
Wow.
12.5 hours of work? What is your opinion on that?
Well, that's why he's young. He can do that.
Oh, that's
He
another
can do
key
that
word. He's
because
young.
he's
You're
young.
right.
He can still do that. I don't know if there are still people over 40, 50 who can still say that they sleep as little as that. Maybe there is. Um I think that when you're in your 20s, you don't really think, you know, how am I going to be 20 years later? And we see that
Right.
as something that is a bit, I mean, I don't think I would be able to sleep 3.5 hours because, there comes a time when you're like, hell first, like
Right. Yeah.
you're thinking in a completely different level after you're like in your 40s, after your 40s, and so on.
So,
But,
last question. Last
but
question.
yeah, yeah.
Do you think this gentleman, Emil Barr, should be an inspiration for others?
I definitely think that for his efforts, and he's very endearing. I think he's very endearing, and a lot of the young generation could absolutely um, look at him as an example, but also the older generation. Why not? That can
Right.
give you
Oh,
inspiration. That if you're that young and you're doing that, then uh, that can gives you a lot of I don't know, some kind of a push to like continue and move things that you're already started.
I agree. And before we shift gears, I do want to say that one of the last takeaways that I took from that interview is um, informing the various companies. He's actually tapped into the social media market to build those companies. He understood that every practically the entire world walks around with a smartphone in their pocket, which is like television for us Gen Zers. Everyone has
Right.
their television in their pocket, which is their smartphone, and he's able to utilize that market to promote his brand and promote his company, which is something that you and I are building on. We're going to use that same type of model to build our brand. Everyone has social media capability in the palm of their hand. Why not use that to promote your brand?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so key takeaway there. Um, so I would say
absolutely.
that he is definitely an inspiration for even for older people like myself.
Well, I don't think the point is difference between generation. I think it's really, eh, if you got something in mind and you don't want to give up on that
Mm,
idea or that passion or that project that you have, then just go for it, no matter the generation, no matter the age. If you're tech savvy, if you're not tech savvy, then get tech savvy. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
nothing is impossible, or everything is possible. However you want
mm.
to look at it. But just don't put yourself into a box and think, oh, this is it, this is my time, I can't do anything about it. You can you can
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Now, this is we're going a little bit over time tonight, probably because it's the weekend, so we got the whole weekend vibe going. There's a segment that I wanted to highlight, and maybe this is more like Michael's thing. We're going to call it the innovation segment. And
Okay.
I saw a clip today that's hot off the press regarding the very first true, quote unquote, true flying car. Now,
Mm.
I know that we see these um, internet ads about flying vehicles all the time. They're all over the internet. But this particular company is claiming to have the very first um, almost consumer and commercially available flying car that's ready for production towards the end of this year or early 2026.
Okay.
Now, I saw this clip on the news and I thought it was very interesting. But then I also looked at it. I also looked at the design concept of this flying vehicle. You know what I said to myself? I said that this concept and this design is something similar to what I've seen before. So let me play this clip to you, and I'll explain to you exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
Let's do it. This is our overtime show. Here
Okay,
we go.
let's do it.
The auto industry's shiny new vehicles are on display in one place this
Like this
weekend,
cake.
the Silicon Valley Auto Show. ABC 7 News South Bay reporter Zach Fuentes reports a futuristic car that can drive and fly is stealing the spotlight in Santa Clara.
The cars and now the crowds have all arrived at the Silicon Valley Auto Show.
The consumer can come here and experience many different vehicles all in one place.
There's no shortage of impressive looking cars here with all kinds of innovative technology. But one of the ones getting the most attention at this auto show is the A-Lift flying car.
It's a regular electric vehicle with one more function which none of the cars here have. It can actually vertically take off and fly forward.
The San Mateo-based company said it conducted a successful test of its flying car in a city environment this month.
People do not believe it's a video. People think it's a CGI. People think it's AI generated. That's why actually we had some crews, like television crews, shoot it live because they also didn't believe it.
The company says the car is 100% electric. For now, the cost is $300,000, a price they expect to drop when they're more efficient at manufacturing. It already has more than
That's a lot of
3,000
money.
pre-orders and the fascination
Yep.
of many other people who came to the auto show taking in the display model.
Very innovative. I'm sure a lot of people will say, is it the Jetson car? You know?
You envision yourself driving something like this or flying something like this?
Yes. I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime, but I think it will happen in my son's lifetime.
Maybe.
So I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it here. Now,
Yeah.
I want to say that this is not the first time that the concept of a flying vehicle that vertically takes off has happened. This actual
Yeah.
concept design was actually brought up in the 1950s. Allow me to
Okay.
display this clip.
The vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Their contributions would pave the way for future projects and excite the imaginations of millions. But perhaps none have captured imaginations more than the VZ9 Avro car, Canada's first attempt at VTOL flight. Preliminary design work for the Avro car was started in 1952. It was unlike any other aircraft in the sky or under development. The Avro car was a flying saucer powered by 3 turbojets. The unusual shape of the aircraft comes from the accommodation of previously untried aerodynamic principles. The concept began as a late 1940s study into new designs for engine compressors by influential Avro engineer Jack
Okay,
Frost.
so I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it there.
Yeah.
Landing
Now, this particular
It's like
vehicle.
75 years later. We're
Yeah,
seeing
correct.
things
Absolutely.
happening.
And I want to point something out really quick here. I'm going to just speed this up. This was something that the military was playing around with. But if you look at here, you see a jet fan, a turbo fan that we use in our modern day aircraft right now for thrust. But this fan here is actually what it does is it turns and it pushes air downward
Right.
to give the thrust for the vehicle to hover. So it's just downward thrust. That's all it is. Now
Mm.
I want to
It's
show you
giving
something
it's
really
giving
quick.
Back to the Future all over again.
So keep this in mind. Downward thrust. Okay. Now let me show you something here. This is the car. This is the press kit that comes with the website that the company actually advertises. So what you see here is a vehicle, and you see it hovering. Okay, that's great. And I'm going to jump to the next slide. It's let me see. Take a little bit of time here. Hopefully, it'll queue up in time and not crash on me.
What was the name of the car in Back to the Future again? Ugh, I have it at the tip of my tongue.
Oh, the DeLorean.
The what? Sorry,
DeLorean. It was a DeLorean
DeLorean.
in Back to the Future.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But
That would
you
have
know what?
been that would have been the best if it was that car.
Yeah, yeah. But I wanted to show you something here, but it looks like this might crash on me. It looks like this whole live feed might crash, so I may have to call this show a bus. But let me see if I can show you this really quick. Let's see if Swan, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, so Swanee, I don't want this live stream to crash. So let's go
Okay.
ahead and call it a wraps for tonight. We'll pick back up with the
Okay, great.
show. I think we're there. I think we're there. Give me a second. Let me just skip ahead here. Are you there, Swan?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
listening.
See the toy? This toy
No,
is
because
the
I
same.
don't see you.
Can you see the screen?
No, I only see myself since the beginning. But just
Okay.
describe it to me. Describe it.
Hey, it's a toy. It's a toy drone that I actually bought my kids many years ago that uses the same technology.
Okay.
So basically, this new car uses thrust that's similar to the diagram that I showed you. I'm showing an image right now. I don't know if you can see this or not. I will describe it.
No.
It's the shell, the entire cover of the vehicle, of this new vehicle, that you can see through, and it uses 4 fans to create thrust. So the entire car itself looks like a very lightweight frame with thrusters on
Okay.
the bottom that gives it this thrust. So I'm showing another picture now. The point I'm trying to make is this concept, I believe, is very innovative, but it's hardly something that's new. So
Right.
I just want to just show that, and before I close out, that it's a very interesting concept, but I'm not
Well, we
very
we we
excited,
heading to the future. We're not slowing back, slowing down. So,
and I hope we're headed in the right direction. But if
yep,
anyone buys this vehicle, please stay safe. Please stay safe out there.
definitely. We
On
might
that
have
note,
to have
well,
traffic signs now in the
well,
future.
traffic signs in the sky.
Air traffic.
Well, my understanding is this vehicle is listed as an ultralight. Ultralight, which is a category of flying. It falls into its own category for as a flying object, an ultralight.
Okay.
So I don't believe that you would need a pilot's license for it, but you would have to adhere to certain air traffic rules. This particular product is now at a local airport in the Northern California area, Bay Area, for further testing. So it will be undergoing testing within an airspace, airport type of environment, and that's where we are right
Yeah,
now. We're saying that this vehicle will be ready by the end of this year or the beginning of next year.
really. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to see what's how it's unfolding.
On that note, Swanee, and again, this is a
Yes,
late
thank you
night
so much
for
for
us,
the
but I'm glad we did
late
it.
night
It
show.
was, it was a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
stay tuned for our next show. But this was our August 2025 closeout show, and we're now in September.
Yes.
So look forward to some beautiful things
Wonderful.
happening in September.
All right. Take care,
So, Swan,
everyone. Thank you.
do me a favor, Swan. I'm going to terminate the call. Stay on the line for me.
Yep.
Everyone else, have a great night.